What's up, Taiwan? How's it going? I'm Yvonne Young with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. North Korea has fired a ballistic missile over Japan for the first time since 2017, forcing Japan's government to issue a warning for citizens to take cover. Their intermediate-range missile was fired from North Korea's Jagong region and landed in waters east of Japan after flying around 4,600 kilometers. The launch by Pyongyang was the fifth in 10 days and comes after South Korea. Japan and the U.S. conducted anti-submarine exercises last week. Japan has condemned the launch as reckless. Some candidates for Taiwan's upcoming local elections have got into trouble for giving supporters gifts that push the limits of vote buying. There's a cap on just how much candidates can spend on these freebies, and there are now calls for the cap to be raised. Eric Gao explains.
Gifts like these are a normal part of Taiwan's election culture. Candidates hand out small items to supporters or treat them to small meals with reminders to vote for them come election day. But there are limits. To avoid implications of vote buying, the value of each item is capped at about $1, and this limit is taken seriously. Township mayor candidates in the northern counties of Yilan and Hsinchu were recently investigated for vote buying in connection with gifts like these. Authorities have received hundreds of similar reports.
我们大概会进驻157位同仁努力的积极在查办当中，像是宜兰像是嘉义像是新竹都有这个有多件的这个起诉案件。
The $1 limit has been in place since 2001, but with inflation on the rise ahead of this year's polls, there are now calls for that ceiling to be lifted.
有人会担心这个碗不要太大碗，太大碗要是面太多超过30块钱，到时候被人家检举。
这个是很简易的话，当然没有问题了。但是如果你弄得很澎湃啊，又好像伴奏一样的，那就不恰当。
The idea has cross-party support.
其实我觉得真的也是可以改变一些啦，也让执法单位比较简单。
The issue will be discussed by Taiwan's Supreme Prosecutor's Office, with an answer expected within a week. As Naya Zhou and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's science budget is set to get its largest ever increase next year. The 13.8% boost will bring the budget to more than $4 billion. The minister of the newly formed National Science and Technology Council, Wu Zhenzhong, says that while the budget is smaller than those of other developed countries, Taiwan is still able to excel due to its talents and cooperation between different government agencies. The increased budget will support advances in aerospace technology and help Taiwan achieve its goal of net zero emissions by 2050. What does it take to power Taiwan? Right now, it takes a whole lot of coal, but the government is aiming for net zero carbon emissions by 2050, and that's putting state-owned Taiwan Power Company in this hot seat. Today, in part one of our special series on energy, Yvonne takes a look at the alternative to coal and what it will take for Taiwan to make the switch.
This is Taiwan's biggest coal-fired power plant. It's one of 4 that collectively provide more than 40% of the country's energy. It's located in the middle of the country in Taichung and has been in operation since 1990. But its days could be numbered as Taiwan pushes towards the goal of zero carbon emissions by 2050.
现在考量的不只是一个用电的一个需求，不只是一个经济的需求，最重要的还有环保的一个考量需求。
我们自己会做很多的设备的改善提升。那设备改善提升的话，等于说就是本来我的排放量浓度会比较高，那越来就会越好，就越来越低。
The plant is under government pressure to quickly reduce its pollution, but that could take years. Not only is this the biggest coal-fired power plant in Taiwan, it's also the 4th biggest in the whole world. It produces around 30 million tons of carbon dioxide a year, which is almost the same as the entire country of New Zealand. This is Taiwan's answer to reducing its carbon footprint. A liquefied natural gas, or LNG plant, in the northern city of Taoyuan.
后面那个2个比较高一点的烟囱，那是我们现在正在进行中的新建机组的工作，就是8号机跟9号机。
Like the coal-fired plant, this one is also operated by Taiwan Power Company, or Taipower, a state-owned corporation that handles all of Taiwan's electricity and has over 25,000 employees. This plant is so big that it could hold about 150 soccer pitches. That makes it the country's largest natural gas plant, with the capacity to produce 1/8 of Taiwan's total energy. Not only is natural gas cleaner than coal, it also has a versatility that makes it a more appealing solution than other forms of clean energy, like solar power.
白天太阳光很大的时候，阳光很烈的时候，它可以发很多的电。那假设说晚上没有太阳光的时候呢，怎么办？我的天然气就可以进来。当再生能源没有的时候，我在很短的时间可以弥补这个再生能源的一个缺口。所以呢，这个气啊跟再生能源可以结合搭配的很稳定。
Taipower is expanding this plant as part of its plan for the country's energy transition. The goal set by the Economy Ministry is for 50% of Taiwan's energy to come from natural gas by 2025. It's currently at 40%. But John Liu, an environmental expert from National Taiwan University, says the government needs to be more ambitious.
As for now, we are looking at only 20%, 30% emission reduction at 2030. And that goal is much lower than most other countries. And if we are really serious about 2050 net zero, we have to be very aggressive right here, right now.
Taiwan Power Company is integral to the country's goal of a zero carbon future. And if the country is serious about combating climate change, it may need to put more energy into pursuing natural gas. Andy Xue, Pichi Zhuang, and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
As birth rates decline in Taiwan, the country is facing an aging population crisis. As Rick Lauer reports from New Taipei, new cat and dog registrations are outpacing human births.
People in Taipei take their pets with them everywhere they go. You'll see them in cafes, on the metro, on hiking trails, and of course in the city's parks. Statistics show it's a trend that's only set to grow. For the first time ever, the number of new cats and dogs being registered in the country is outpacing the number of babies being born. In the first 9 months of the year, more than 175,000 new pets were registered in Taiwan. The total number of babies born this year is expected to be less than 140,000.
狗给我们家庭带来很多欢笑啊，然后也觉得有一个成员，这个家里面的气氛呢，或是这个就比较满足这样的，对，
Taiwan's birth rate is one of the lowest in the world, creating an aging population crisis. By 2025, 1/5 of Taiwanese will be over 65, putting a strain on the workforce, the healthcare system, and even the country's military. Experts say rising costs of living, particularly sky-high house prices, and more women heading to work are behind the decline. Despite government subsidies to marry and have kids, it is four-legged friends that are rising in popularity.
就是大家当然会觉得，就是养小孩当然很好，但是带来的压力跟就是经济反而是更大的，所以大家就会选择就是养毛小孩。
With a human population of 24 million, Taiwan is now home to 2 million registered pets, raising questions about what role these furry friends who don't go to work or pay taxes are going to play in the country's future. Damon Lin and Rick Lowett in New Taipei City for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of pet weddings with a blessing ceremony in the Philippines. I'm Yvonne. Take care and see you next time.